Stop. This is not another feel-good video that you will forget the moment you click away. You have had enough of those empty speeches. This is something else entirely. This is not for entertainment. This is a warning, a message from your future self that you have been ignoring for years because you were too afraid to hear it. Look around you. While you are wasting these minutes, someone else is out there grabbing the opportunity you wanted, building the business you dreamed of, or living the life you have been imagining for so long. And you? You are still stuck in the same place, just thinking about starting. Here is the cold, hard truth that nobody says out loud. Life is not waiting for you. It does not care about your comfort zone, your irrational fears, or your long list of excuses. It does not hit the pause button just because you do not feel ready. Every single day you spend procrastinating, someone else is taking your place. You keep telling yourself that you will start one day, but one day is not on the calendar. There is no perfect, magical moment coming to save you. There is only now. If you keep waiting for a time when you feel perfectly confident, motivated, and prepared, you will be waiting until the day you die. This is not a video you save for later. Later is where dreams go to die. This is the moment you stop watching your life from the sidelines and start rewriting the script. If you do not change now, 10 years from now, you will look back with nothing but regret. So, we are going to dive into 10 brutal, life-changing truths that will either shake you awake or prove that you are someone who will never actually change. And yes, as you listen, you will not only hear powerful lessons that will shift your perspective, but you will also strengthen your English with clear, natural language that sticks in your mind. Every truth you hear today is a step closer to the life you should already be living. Let us get to work. Truth 1. It is now or never. Quit lying to yourself. Stop claiming you are just waiting for the right moment. The truth is, there is no such thing as a perfect time. There is no green light coming from the universe. Every single second you spend hesitating is a second you are throwing away, and you will never get that time back. Think about your own life. How often have you said, "I will start when things are less hectic," or "I will begin after the holidays," or "I will get to it when I am feeling more prepared"? Months go by, then years, and you are still in the exact same spot. You thought you had plenty of time, but you were wrong. You are not out of time yet, but you are definitely running low. Imagine you are standing on a set of train tracks. You see a train coming from far away. It is moving slowly, so you think you have plenty of time to just stand there. But in the split second, it is right on top of you, and it is far too late to move. That train is your life. Your dreams are that train, and they are barreling toward you whether you decide to act or not. I am not here to coddle you. I am here to shake the part of you that keeps wasting days as if they are infinite. They are not. Your time is limited. Every hour that ticks by is gone forever. If you do not start right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but this very second, you are actively destroying your own future. You might tell yourself, "But I am just not ready yet." Let me be perfectly clear. You will never feel ready. Readiness is just a fairy tale that lazy people tell themselves to justify standing still. The reality is that you only become ready by taking action. You build the skills, the confidence, and the grit while you are moving, not while you are sitting around waiting. So, here is your choice. Do one thing today that your future self will actually thank you for, or do nothing and let your future self resent you for the rest of your life. When I say do something, I mean pick one task and get it done before the sun sets. Send that email, sign up for the course, hit the gym, or start that project. If you refuse to act, be honest with yourself. You do not actually want change, you just want the comfort of staying the same. And comfort is just a slow, silent way to kill your potential. Truth 2. You must be obsessed. Hear me out. If your dream does not consume your every waking thought, it is never going to become your reality. If you can imagine a life without it, then you will almost certainly end up living that life, the one you are trying to escape. That is the hard reality. Interest is weak. Motivation is a fleeting emotion that vanishes the moment things get tough. Inspiration dies quickly. Only obsession, a raw, unshakable, all-consuming obsession, is what keeps you standing when you feel like throwing in the towel. Obsession is the fuel that forces you to show up when your body is screaming for rest, when your mind tells you to skip the work, and when the rest of the world is busy laughing at your ambition. I am not talking about simple wishing, and I am not talking about casually trying. I am talking about burning the bridges that lead back to the person you used to be. No safety nets, no plan B, and no room for failure. You succeed because you refuse to accept any other outcome. There is a legend about a commander who led his troops across the ocean to face an enemy force 10 times their size. As soon as they hit the beach, the soldiers looked at the sheer scale of the opposition and started to lose their nerve. They wanted to turn back. The commander gave one simple order: burn the ships. His men were terrified, shouting that they had no way home. He looked at them and replied, "Exactly. Now we either win this fight or we die here." Do you see the point? There was no exit. Every single soldier fought with the desperate intensity of a person who knows that failure is not an option. And they won. Not because they were stronger, but because they had zero alternatives. That is what obsession looks like. When you burn the ships in your own life, when you delete the distractions, cut the easy exits, and stop keeping backup plans that allow you to quit, you start operating on a completely different level. You think differently, you fight harder, and you live with a new kind of hunger. If you are still just trying, you have not burned your ships. If you are still waiting for the perfect timing, you have not burned your ships. If you are still keeping one foot in your dream and one foot in your comfort zone, you are not obsessed. You need to make your goal the thing you literally cannot live without. Wake up thinking about it, go to bed strategizing it, and embed it so deep into your identity that skipping your work feels like cutting off your own oxygen. When you are truly obsessed, you do not need to look for motivation. You are the source of it. People will call you crazy. Let them. That is the clearest sign you are on the right path, because the life you are building will always look insane to the people who gave up on theirs. Truth 3. The power of purpose. Listen closely. Motivation is just a spark, but purpose is the fire. Motivation might get you out of bed once or twice, but purpose is what keeps you moving when your legs are shaking, your mind is screaming at you to stop, and the world is throwing every obstacle it has in your path. If your why is weak, you will eventually quit. If your why is ironclad, you become unbreakable. You say you want a new life, but you need to answer this. Who are you doing this for? And what pain are you finally done tolerating? I am not looking for a pretty quote or a clever answer. I want the real, raw truth. The one that makes your chest heavy and your eyes sting. I am not here to pat you on the back. I am here to turn your reason into a weapon. Because life will test you. Your plans will crumble, your body will get exhausted, and people will doubt your every move. In those dark hours, you will either have a deep-seated purpose or you will have a mountain of excuses. There is no middle ground. Think of a woman named Clara. She works the graveyard shift as a nurse, navigating long, empty hallways under cold fluorescent lights while dealing with grieving families. She returns home when it is still pitch black outside. There is a stack of bills on the kitchen counter and a final notice from the bank. But then she sees a pair of tiny, worn-out shoes by the front door. Her little boy wakes up and asks her, "Mom, are we going to be okay?" That simple, heartbreaking question becomes her why. It is not about likes on social media or applause from strangers. It is about that one question. Now, watch what happens when a human being is powered by that kind of purpose. She uses her lunch breaks to study, not to rest. She drinks lukewarm coffee she did not even want. She ignores the weekend parties and focuses entirely on her textbooks. She is not superhuman. She is just purpose-driven. When the alarm rings and she wants to break down, she looks at those tiny shoes by the door. That is her lighthouse. That is her anchor. Months later, she passes her certification exams. Her pay increases, the debt starts to vanish, and she finally buys a reliable car. She is still tired, but she is proud. She did not push through for fun. She pushed through for her mission. Every time life asks her why she is working so hard, she has her answer. Because a little voice once asked if we would be okay, and she made sure the answer was yes. That is what purpose does. You cannot compete with someone who has a mission like that. They do not need motivation because they have a duty. Purpose is not a slogan you stick on a vision board and forget about next week. Purpose is a decision that turns into a duty, which eventually becomes your default way of living. It is the reason you keep your promises on days that feel impossible. If your why is vague, like wanting to be rich or happy, your effort will be vague and your results will be non-existent. You do not need a perfect plan. You need a sharp, undeniable reason. Define it today. Write it down. Make it real. Because a purpose you cannot act on today is just a story, not a strategy. Truth 4. The power of focus. Listen to me. Focus is not just paying attention. Focus is war. Every single minute, there is something trying to steal your mind, your time, and your energy. And most people just hand it over like it is worth nothing. If you cannot protect your focus, you cannot protect your future. People often think failure is a result of lacking talent, but that is a lie. Most failure stems from scattered attention, from chasing 10 different things halfway instead of committing to one thing all the way. You end up switching between distractions so often that you never go deep enough to make real progress. You claim you want to change your life, but look at your daily habits. Your phone pings and you jump to answer it like a servant. You tell yourself you will only scroll for 5 minutes, and suddenly an hour has vanished. You start a new habit, then drop it the moment something shiny catches your eye. This is not ambition. This is self-sabotage disguised as being busy. Think about a man given a magnifying glass and told to burn a piece of paper using the sunlight. He holds the glass, but he keeps moving it around, letting the light scatter across the page. Nothing happens. Hours pass and there is no smoke, no flame. Then he tries something different. He holds the glass perfectly still. The light stays locked on one tiny point of heat. Within moments, the paper starts to smoke and then bursts into flames. That is the essence of focus. It is not about having more sunlight. It is about aiming the same light with absolute precision until the result appears. Your life is exactly the same. Scatter your energy and you will stay lukewarm, never catching fire. Aim that same energy at one single mission and you will burn through any obstacle in your path. Every time you break your focus, you are resetting the clock. If you spend 30 minutes getting into deep work and then check your notifications at minute 25, you have completely destroyed that session. If you set a goal but keep adding side projects, you are not expanding your life. You are dividing it into weaker, ineffective pieces. The world will gladly let you waste your potential like that. The graveyard is filled with people who had the talent to succeed but could never keep their eyes on the road. They swerved for every distraction and followed every trend. They mistook constant movement for actual progress and eventually died with their true potential still locked inside. Focus protects your time from thieves. Focus shields your energy from leeches. When you are truly focused, you stop trying to please everyone, you stop explaining your every move, and you stop saying yes to things that have nothing to do with your mission. Focus means letting go of the 99% so you can give your full 100% to the 1% that actually matters. It will make you seem selfish to the unfocused. Good, let them talk. Let them waste their hours while you stack yours into something unshakable. Truth 5. Trust the process. Listen, trust is not sitting on your couch waiting for things to happen. Trust is putting in the work with relentless consistency while letting go of the timing, the path, and all the noise you cannot control. Trust is simply discipline mixed with patience. If you refuse to trust, you will end up quitting 3 minutes before your breakthrough, and you will spend the rest of your life blaming your lack of progress on bad luck. You want results right now. I get it, but life does not pay out on your schedule. It pays out based on evidence, and it rewards those who keep moving when the metrics are quiet, when the audience is silent, and when the path looks like a dead end. If you panic in the silence, you lose the golden hours where the real growth is happening beneath the surface. This is the moment where you either fold or you double down. You control your inputs, your practice, your standards, and your effort. Today, you do not control the exact day the door opens, which person finally says yes, or which project suddenly takes off. If you try to control both the effort and the outcome, you will burn out. Own your inputs, release the outcome. That is trust. Here is the difference between wishful thinking and real trust. Wishful thinking says, I will wait for a sign. Trust says, I am the sign. I will do the work today and let the results catch up. Wishful thinking prays and scrolls through social media. Trust prays and practices. Wishful thinking asks, why is this not happening yet? Trust asks, what can I sharpen right now? There will be dry seasons and long stretches where nothing seems to move. In those times, most people rewrite their dreams to match their fears. Do not be like them. When the world is quiet, grind your craft, protect your focus, and keep your word to yourself. The universe is not your enemy. It is a mirror. It reflects your habits back to you, just with a delay. Imagine a pilot flying through a massive storm. Outside, there is nothing but darkness, rain, and wind. Inside the cockpit, the instruments are calm, honest, and unemotional. His body screams lies. It tells him he is level when he is actually banking, or that he is climbing when he is falling. Panic starts to rise. His hands want to follow his feelings, but he knows better. In bad weather, you trust your instruments. Feelings will kill you, so he glues his eyes to the panel. He breathes. He flies by the numbers, not by his nerves. Minutes feel like hours, but he holds his course anyway. Eventually, the clouds break and the runway lights appear like a miracle. He lands safely. What saved him was not luck, it was trust. He obeyed the process even when his senses lied. That is your life. The storm is your doubt, the delays, and the silence. Your instruments are your routines, your promises, and your standards. Trust your instruments. Keep your heading. You will see the lights. Truth 6. Discipline equals freedom. Listen carefully, because if you get this wrong, you will waste decades. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you feel like it. That is not freedom. That is a trap. Real freedom, the kind that lets you call the shots, own your time, and build a future on your own terms, is only possible through discipline. Without discipline, you are a slave. Not to a boss and not to society, but to your own moods, your impulses, and the path of least resistance. You wake up late because you do not feel like getting out of bed. You eat trash because you do not feel like cooking. You skip your work because you are just not in the mood today. Before you know it, your life becomes a cage built from 1,000 "I do not feel like it" moments. Discipline means you are the one running your day, not the other way around. It means acting on your commitments rather than your emotions. It means your standards are always louder than your excuses. If you cannot keep a simple promise to yourself, how can you expect the world to ever trust you? People respect results, and results only come from repeated, intentional action. You might say, but discipline is hard. Sure it is, but so is regret, and regret carries a much heavier weight. The pain of discipline lasts a few minutes, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Think of a river. Water is soft and gentle, flowing in every direction if you let it run wild. But build walls around it, guide it, and focus it, and that same water can power massive turbines, generating enough electricity to light up entire cities. That is what discipline does for you. Without it, your energy is scattered, wasted, and evaporating into nothing. With it, you build channels. You turn the same hours and the same energy into an unstoppable force. The water does not lose its freedom when you channel it. It gains power, and so will you. If you reject discipline, you are choosing chains, chains of debt, chains of bad habits, and chains of constant self-doubt. You will end up a prisoner, looking out the window at the people who chose the hard path years ago, living the life you could have had. Life always collects its payment. If you do not pay with discipline now, you will pay with regret later. Financial discipline gives you the freedom to walk away from a toxic job. Physical discipline gives you the freedom to move and explore without being held back by pain. Mental discipline gives you the freedom to create and lead instead of just following orders. So, decide who you are before the day even begins. If you wait until morning to decide whether you will train, study, or work, your feelings will win every single time. Decide the night before. Shrink your choices. Make the right action so easy that you cannot say no. Lay out your gear. Prep your workspace. Remove the friction before it starts. And use the 5-minute rule. When you feel resistance, just commit to 5 minutes. Once you start, momentum takes over. Tie it back to your freedom. Remind yourself that this is not punishment. This is the ticket to your future. Choose discipline, and you choose to be truly free. Truth 7. Habits change who you are. You can talk about your big goals all day long, but if your daily actions do not align with them, you are just lying to yourself to feel better. Habits are not small, insignificant things. They are the invisible architects of your future. They are the silent builders of your identity, laying the bricks for the foundation you stand on every single day. Imagine a deep canyon. It was not carved out overnight, and it certainly was not made by a massive explosion. It was created by water, dripping, flowing, and moving day after day, year after year. The water did not have much power in any single moment, but it had incredible power because it never quit. It carved through solid rock without even trying to be loud. That is exactly how your habits work. At first, the change is invisible. You look in the mirror after one day and see no difference. You write one page of your project, and it feels like nothing happened. You hit the gym once, and your body looks the same. But keep the water moving. Keep the habit flowing. one day the rock will finally give way. You will look back and see a canyon where there used to be flat, empty land. You will look at yourself and realize that the old version of you is gone forever. The threat is just as real. If you keep allowing bad habits to drip into your life, mindless scrolling, late-night junk food, or constantly skipping your work, you are carving a canyon that will eventually trap you. It will start to feel normal to be lazy. It will feel natural to avoid the hard tasks simply because you have trained your brain to operate that way. Your own habits will drag you back, even on the days you truly want to move forward. The promise, however, is powerful. If you choose strong habits, reading daily, training daily, speaking clearly, planning your schedule, and protecting your focus, you will rewire your entire identity. It will eventually feel normal to be disciplined. It will feel right to chase your goals because you have hardwired that behavior into your DNA. Habits are not just things you do, they are who you become. Your move today is simple. Do not wait for a burst of motivation. Pick one single habit, tie it to a specific time every day. Keep it so small that you cannot possibly skip it, and stay so consistent that it becomes a part of your daily rhythm. Because habits are the secret to becoming the person you were meant to be. Truth 8. Everything adds up. Stop chasing a massive overnight miracle. Success is not built on one dramatic movie-style moment. Success is math. It is the simple, honest sum of what you repeat every single day. Every choice you make is a data point in the equation of your life, whether you like it or not. Think about a ship crossing the ocean. If the compass is off by just 1 single degree, the ship will sail perfectly fine for hours. Nobody on board would even notice the difference. But keep that 1 degree error going for days, and you will end up hundreds of miles away from your intended destination. By the time land finally appears, you are on the wrong coast entirely. That 1 tiny degree felt like nothing, but in the end, it was everything. The threat is subtle. It is that 1 extra cheat meal, that 1 skipped workout, or that 5-minute scroll that turns into an hour. None of these things will ruin your life in a single day, but repeat them over months and years, and they will deliver you to a place you never wanted to be. Your life will not collapse in one loud explosion. It will sink slowly, 1 drop at a time, while you tell yourself that this little bit does not really matter. The promise is equally powerful. Every small good choice counts just as much. 1 healthy meal, 1 page read, 1 focused hour of work, or 1 honest conversation. Stack them, repeat them, and protect them, and they will quietly but surely change your entire destination. Your move today is to ask yourself, if I repeated this 1 action every day for the next year, where would it actually take me? If the answer gets you excited, start right now. If the answer scares you, stop immediately, because there is no such thing as a neutral choice. Every single thing you do is moving you either closer to or further away from the life you want. Everything counts. Everything compounds. Everything adds up. Truth 9. The only limit is yourself. Your biggest enemy is not the government, your boss, your family, or your past. It is the invisible line you have drawn in your own mind, the one that whispers you cannot go any further. Understand this. The world can only hold you where you agree to be held. Your ceiling is not made of concrete. It is built of belief. And every single day that you accept those self-imposed limits, you are reinforcing the bars of your own prison. Think of a high-performance race car. The engine is powerful, the track is clear, and the tires are built for speed. But inside that engine, there is a small device called a governor. This piece of tech limits the top speed. No matter how hard the driver floors the pedal, the car will not go beyond that preset number. The road is not the problem, and the engine is not the problem. The problem is the limit hidden inside. That is you. Every time you start to make real progress, that inner governor whispers, "Slow down. You are not the kind of person who succeeds like this. This is too much for you." And you listen. You take your foot off the gas and drift back to the safe, comfortable speed of the old you. Consider a thermostat in a room set to 20 degrees. When the room heats up to 21 degrees, the thermostat kicks in to cool it back down to where it is set. That is how your self-image works. Set it low, and the moment you start earning more, looking healthier, or taking control of your life, your brain tries to cool you back down to your comfort zone. You call it self-sabotage, but it is not sabotage, it is just settings. The threat is clear. If you do not change those internal settings, you will keep living in the same small, restricted circle. You will reject opportunities that are too big for your current comfort level. You will ruin your own progress just to feel normal again. You will spend your life watching others live out the potential that was meant for you. The promise is this: when you raise your internal limit, your life will rise to match it. It will not happen instantly, but it will be relentless, because the world will eventually reflect exactly what you believe you are worth. Say this out loud: I am the only one who can lift my ceiling, and I am the only one who keeps it low. Then, prove it today with one action that the limited version of you would never take. The road is ready, and your engine is built for more. The only thing holding you back is you. Truth 10. The final decision. Real change is not a slow, gentle fade. It is a sharp break, a definitive click. One moment you are still debating it in your head, and the next moment you have made the call, and there is no turning back. Understand this: most people never actually change because they never truly decide. They say, "I will try," "I will start soon," or "I will give it a shot." Those are not decisions. Those are just excuses wearing fancy clothes. Picture a massive train barreling down the tracks toward a split. There is a lever. One pull sends it onto a new track, leading to a completely different destination. But if you leave that lever in the middle, the train derails. That is what half-hearted decisions do to your life. When you say, "I will try," you are leaving the lever halfway. When you say maybe, you are leaving it halfway. And every dream you have ever held comes flying off the rails. Imagine a dam holding back years of water, pressure, and raw force. Open the gate only halfway, and the water just trickles out, stagnating and losing its power. Open it fully, and it carves a brand new river into the earth. That dam is your willpower. Your gate is your commitment. A half-open gate gives you nothing but frustration, but a fully open gate rewrites the map of your entire life. Indecision is still a decision. It is the decision to stay exactly where you are. Every day you delay is a day you drift further from who you could be. Drifting does not feel like a disaster in the moment, but it kills more dreams than failure ever will. Once you truly decide, your mind stops wasting energy on wondering if you should. That energy returns as pure momentum, and momentum can carry you through storms that motivation never could. How do you make the final decision? Cut off the escape routes. Delete the distractions, cancel the backup plans, and throw away the safety net. Replace if with when. Replace I will try with I will. Replace later with now. Act before you feel ready. Tell yourself out loud, "This is no longer up for debate. I have chosen." Then take one action today that proves that decision is real. Not tomorrow, not after you have finished preparing, right now. Because new lives do not start with noise. They start with the silent sound of a switch clicking into place and a train that will never again run on the old, broken track. If this video has shaken you, do not just leave feeling inspired. Leave feeling different. Do one thing today that proves you are serious about your change. And if you are ready for more content that will push your life forward while sharpening your English, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. Your next breakthrough could be just one video away.